I was driving home from visiting my parents, about a 2-hour drive on Interstate 95. It was around 9 at night. Not too late, but dark enough that the highway felt empty. Just me, a few scattered cars, and the endless stretch of road ahead. I was in the right lane, doing the speed limit, maybe 5 over. Just cruising, listening to a podcast, completely relaxed. That's when I first noticed the headlights behind me. They appeared suddenly in my rearview mirror, bright and close. Too close. I couldn't even see the front of the vehicle, just these 2 blinding lights filling up my mirror. I figured they wanted to pass, so I kept steady in my lane, expecting them to go around me. But they didn't. They just stayed there, maybe 10 feet off my bumper. I could feel my heart rate picking up. This wasn't normal following distance. This was aggressive. I tapped my brakes lightly, just to flash my brake lights as a signal. You know, like, hey, back off a little. The car behind me didn't slow down. If anything, it got closer. Now I couldn't see anything in my rear view except those headlights burning into my eyes. What is your problem? I muttered to myself. I switched lanes, moving to the left to let them pass. Finally, I thought, they'll go around and that'll be the end of it. But when I moved over, so did they. They followed me into the left lane and stayed right on my bumper. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just aggressive driving. This was intentional. Someone was messing with me. I sped up a little, pushing 75 in a 65 zone. The car behind me sped up too, maintaining that same terrifying distance. I could see the outline now, a dark SUV or truck, but I couldn't make out any details. No license plate visible, just those headlights. I moved back to the right lane. They followed. I tried the left again. They followed. Every move I made, they mirrored it, staying glued to my rear bumper like a shadow. My hands were sweating on the steering wheel. I didn't know what to do. Should I pull over? No, that seemed like a terrible idea. Should I call the police? I grabbed my phone from the cup holder, but I was shaking so badly I could barely unlock it. Then the car behind me flashed their high beams. Once, twice, 3 times. Blinding light flooded my car, and I had to squint to see the road. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it over the podcast still playing in the background. I tried slowing down, thinking maybe they'd get frustrated and pass. I dropped to 60, then 55. Traffic was light enough that they could easily go around, but they didn't. They just slowed down with me, matching my speed exactly. That's when I saw the exit sign, 2 miles ahead. I made a split-second decision. I'd take the exit, pull into a gas station or somewhere public with lights and people. I wasn't going to lead this person to my house. I waited until the last possible second, then jerked my car onto the exit ramp without signaling. My tires squealed slightly as I took the turn faster than I should have. I looked in my mirror, praying they'd miss the exit. They didn't. The SUV swerved onto the exit ramp, right behind me, still tailgating. No, 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 I said out loud. My voice was shaking. The exit led to a rural road with nothing but darkness on either side. No gas stations, no lights, just empty farmland. I'd made a terrible mistake. I should have stayed on the highway where there were other cars. I accelerated, pushing 70 on a road that was probably marked for 45. The SUV accelerated too. We were racing now, flying down this dark country road with trees whipping past on both sides. My phone rang. I jumped, almost dropping it. Unknown number. I answered it, desperate for any kind of connection to another person. "Hello," I said, my voice cracking. Heavy breathing. That's all I heard. Someone breathing into the phone, slow and deliberate. Then they spoke. "You cut me off." My blood went cold. It was a man's voice, flat and emotionless. "What?" I said. "Back on the highway. You cut me off when you changed lanes. You almost caused an accident." I tried to remember. Had I cut someone off? I didn't think so. I'd checked my mirrors, used my signal, but maybe I had. Maybe I'd misjudged the distance. I didn't know anymore. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. "I'm sorry if I did. I didn't mean to. Can you please just back off? You need to learn a lesson," he said. "You need to be more careful." Then he hung up. How did he have my phone number? I didn't understand. Then it hit me. My car, I had one of those family stickers on my back window with my name and my dog's name, and my bumper sticker for the university I attended. He could have found my social media, my number, everything. Just from that information, I wanted to cry. This was insane. All because I supposedly cut him off. I looked for anywhere to turn, any driveway or side road, but there was nothing, just empty darkness. Then I saw lights ahead, a small town, finally. I could see a main street with a few businesses, most of them closed, but there was a convenience store with its lights on. I aimed for it, pulling into the parking lot and stopping right under the brightest light, near the front door. The SUV pulled in behind me and stopped about 20 feet away. I could see it clearly now. Dark blue or black, Ford Explorer maybe, tinted windows. I couldn't see the driver. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. My hands were shaking so badly I almost couldn't press the numbers. 911. What's your emergency? Someone's following me, I said, the words tumbling out. I'm at a convenience store on Route 47. I don't know the exact address, but someone's been chasing me, and I don't know what they want. Okay, stay calm. Are you in a safe location right now? I'm in my car in the parking lot. They're parked behind me. Do not get out of your car. Lock your doors. Police are on the way. Can you see the person? Can you describe the vehicle? It's a dark SUV, Ford Explorer, I think. I can't see the driver. Windows are tinted. I kept my eyes on the SUV in my rearview mirror. The engine was running. I could see the exhaust in the cold night air, but no one got out. They just sat there, watching. The 911 operator stayed on the line with me, asking questions, keeping me calm. I told her everything. The tailgating, the phone call, the chase down the country road. She assured me police were close, maybe 5 minutes away. Those 5 minutes felt like an hour. The SUV didn't move. I didn't move. We just sat there in this bizarre standoff in a convenience store parking lot. Then I saw headlights approaching. 2 police cars, coming fast with their lights on but no sirens. They pulled into the lot from different directions, boxing in the SUV. The moment the police arrived, the SUV suddenly reversed, tires squealing, and took off back toward the main road. One of the police cars immediately gave chase while the other pulled up next to me. An officer got out and tapped on my window. I unlocked the door and practically fell out of the car, my legs weak and unsteady. "Are you injured?" the officer asked. "No, just scared," I said. She had me sit in the back of her patrol car while she took my statement. The other officer radioed in that he'd lost the SUV. It had turned off its lights and disappeared down a side road. No license plate visible, tinted windows, generic dark Ford Explorer, basically impossible to track. They filed a report and offered to escort me home. I accepted. One officer followed me the entire way back to my apartment, which was another 30 minutes. I kept checking my mirrors the whole time, terrified I'd see those headlights again. I got home safely, but I barely slept that night. Every sound outside made me jump. Every car door closing, every engine starting. I kept seeing those headlights in my mind, feeling that panic all over again. The police never found the driver. They checked traffic cameras, asked around the area, but nothing turned up. The case is still open, but I know it'll probably never be solved. I still drive that route sometimes when I visit my parents. But I'm different now. I check my mirrors constantly. I never use my phone while driving, and I took all the personal stickers off my car. No names, no universities, nothing that could identify me. Because I learned something that night. You never really know who's sharing the road with you, and some people, for reasons you might never understand, are just looking for an excuse, any excuse. And when they find one, they won't let it go. I'd been shopping at the mall for maybe an hour, nothing special, just picking up some clothes and grabbing coffee. It was a Saturday afternoon, so the parking lot was packed. You know how it is, circling around looking for a spot, getting frustrated, finally finding something. I saw an open space near the entrance to Macy's and put my turn signal on, waiting for the car in front of me to pass so I could pull in. That's when this guy in a black Dodge Charger came flying around the corner from the other direction and whipped into the spot. just took it, right in front of me, like I wasn't even there. I sat there for a second, stunned. I honked my horn once, not aggressively, just like, hey. I was waiting for that. The guy got out of his car and looked at me. He was maybe mid-30s, tall, wearing a tank top and jeans. He had this smirk on his face, like he knew exactly what he'd done and thought it was funny. I was waiting for that spot. I called out through my open window. He shrugged. Should have been faster. Then he just walked away toward the mall entrance. I was annoyed, sure, but whatever. It was just a parking spot. I found another one a few rows back and went about my shopping. I honestly forgot about it by the time I was done. But when I came back to my car about 45 minutes later, something was wrong. My driver's side mirror was hanging off, dangling by the wires. The plastic casing was cracked, and the glass was shattered on the ground. "Are you kidding me?" I said out loud. I looked around. Had someone hit my car and just left? There were no other cars parked next to mine on the driver's side, just an empty spot. This had to be intentional. Someone had deliberately broken my mirror. And then I remembered, the guy in the Charger, the smirk, the attitude. I walked back toward the mall entrance, scanning the parking lot for a black Dodge Charger. And there it was, still in that same spot near Macy's. I stood there for a minute, trying to decide what to do. Should I wait for him? Confront him? Call the police? I decided to wait. I wanted to at least talk to him, ask him if he'd done it. I leaned against my car and pulled out my phone, keeping an eye on his vehicle. Maybe 15 minutes passed. Then I saw him walking back toward the lot, carrying a few shopping bags. "Hey," I called out, walking toward him. "Hey, you." He saw me and stopped. That same smirk appeared on his face. "Yeah? Did you break my mirror?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "Your mirror? I don't know what you're talking about. My driver's side mirror is smashed. And you were the one who took my parking spot earlier. Did you come back and break it?" He laughed. Actually laughed. "You're crazy. I've been shopping. Why would I do that?" "Because you were mad that I honked at you," I said. My voice was rising now, frustration taking over. "You took my spot," I honked, "and you came back and broke my mirror." "Prove it," he said, stepping closer to me. He was taller than I thought, and suddenly I felt very aware of how empty this section of the parking lot was. Most people were parked closer to the stores. "I'm calling the police," I said, pulling out my phone. "Go ahead," he said. "Call them. Tell them your mirror got broken, and you think I did it with zero proof. See how that goes." I dialed anyway. My hands were shaking, partially from anger, partially from the way he was looking at me, like I was an insect, something he could crush if he wanted to. The 911 operator answered, and I explained the situation. Vandalism, damaged property, I suspected who did it. She said they'd send an officer to take a report, but it might be a while. Saturday afternoon, they were busy. "They're coming," I said to the guy. "Cool," he said. "I'll wait right here with you. This should be fun." And he did. He leaned against his Charger, arms crossed, just staring at me, not saying anything, just staring. It was unnerving. I walked back to my car and sat inside, locking the doors. Through my windshield, I could see him still standing there, watching me. 20 minutes passed, then 30. The parking lot was getting busier as more people arrived for evening shopping. I kept my eyes on the guy. He hadn't moved, just stood there like a statue, staring at my car. Finally, a police cruiser pulled into the lot. I got out and waved to the officer. He parked and walked over, a middle-aged cop with a notepad already out. "You called about vandalism?" he asked. "Yes. My mirror was broken while I was shopping." I pointed to the damage, and I think he did it. I gestured toward the guy with the Charger. The officer walked over to him. "Sir, can I talk to you for a minute?" "Sure," the guy said, all friendly now. "I don't know what this is about, though." I watched as they talked. The guy was animated, gesturing, playing it up like he was the victim here, like I was harassing him. The officer took notes, nodded, asked him questions. Then he walked back over to me. "Did you see him damage your vehicle?" the officer asked. "No, but any witnesses?" "No, I was inside shopping, but he's the only person I had a conflict with today." He took the parking spot I was waiting for, and when I honked at him, he got this look on his face. "Ma'am," the officer interrupted gently, "I understand you're upset, but without any evidence or witnesses, there's nothing I can do. He says he didn't do it. You can't prove he did. This is a he said she said situation. So that's it? Someone breaks my mirror and nothing happens. You can file an insurance claim for the damage, and I'll write up a report for your records. But as for pressing charges against him, I can't do that without proof." I felt tears of frustration welling up. This wasn't fair. I knew he did it. The timing, the attitude, everything pointed to him. But the officer was right. I had no proof. The cop took my information, wrote up his report, and then left. The guy with the charger got in his car and drove away, but not before stopping next to me and rolling down his window. "Have a good day," he said, with that same infuriating smirk. Then he was gone. I sat in my car for a long time after that, just trying to calm down. My hands were still shaking. I called my insurance company and filed a claim. They said I'd have to pay the deductible, a couple $100, to get it fixed. But the worst part wasn't the money, or even the damaged mirror. It was the feeling of helplessness. Someone had done this to me, to my property, out of pure spite, and there was nothing I could do about it. No justice, no consequences, nothing. I drove home with the broken mirror flapping in the wind, a constant reminder of what had happened. I got it fixed the next week, but I never went back to that mall again. Even now, months later, whenever I see a black Dodge Charger on the road, my heart rate spikes. I wonder if it's him, if he even remembers me, or if I was just one of many people he's messed with and forgotten about. The thing that bothers me most is knowing he got away with it. He knew I couldn't prove anything. He knew the system wouldn't help me, and he enjoyed it. You could see it in his eyes, in that smirk. He got off on the power of it. Some people are just like that. They thrive on making others feel small, on getting away with things, on knowing they can hurt you and face zero consequences. And until you meet someone like that, you don't realize how common they actually are. I learned something that day. Sometimes there is no justice. Sometimes the bad guy wins. And all you can do is walk away and try not to let it change who you are. But it's hard. It's really hard. It was just a normal Tuesday morning. I was running late for work. Nothing unusual. Just hit the snooze button one too many times. I was driving through downtown, heading toward the office building where I work as an accountant. The traffic was typical rush hour stuff. Stop and go. Everyone trying to get somewhere. I was approaching a four-way intersection with traffic lights when mine turned yellow. I was already halfway into the intersection, so I went through. It's one of those judgment calls you make 100 times. Yellow light. You're already committed. You go through. But as I cleared the intersection, I heard it. A horn, long and angry. I looked in my rearview mirror and saw a white pickup truck stopped at the crosswalk. The light had turned red just as he reached the intersection. He'd had to stop, and apparently he was mad about it. Mad at me, like it was my fault the light changed. I kept driving. Whatever, right? People honk in traffic all the time. Not my problem, except he made it my problem. The light turned green, and the pickup truck accelerated hard, weaving through traffic to catch up to me. Within seconds, he was right behind me, laying on his horn again. Long, continuous blasts that made other drivers turn and look. I glanced in my mirror. The guy was leaning forward over his steering wheel, face red, mouth moving. He was yelling, even though I couldn't hear him. His passenger window was down and he was gesturing wildly with one hand while steering with the other. My chest tightened. This wasn't just annoyed honking. This was rage. Over a yellow light, I tried to ignore him, keeping my eyes forward, maintaining my speed. But he wasn't letting it go. He pulled up beside me in the right lane and matched my speed, his truck now parallel with my car. He was screaming something at me, but I kept looking straight ahead, refusing to make eye contact. "Hey," I could hear him now, his voice cutting through the traffic noise. "Hey, look at me." I didn't. Look, that's what they tell you, right? Don't engage with aggressive drivers. Just ignore them, and they'll go away. He didn't go away. He swerved toward me. Just a little, just enough that his truck came within inches of my car. I jerked my wheel to the left, my heart hammering in my chest. I almost clipped the car in the lane next to me. "What are you doing?" I shouted, even though he couldn't hear me. The traffic ahead was slowing down for another red light. I was boxed in, cars on all sides, the pickup truck still next to me. When we stopped, he opened his door. He actually got out of his truck, right there in the middle of traffic, and started walking toward my car. He was a big guy, maybe 6'2", wearing a construction vest and work boots. His face was still red, veins visible on his neck. He looked like he was about to explode. I locked my doors. He came right up to my window and started pounding on the glass with his fist. "You think you can just run red lights?" he screamed. "You could have killed someone. You could have hit me." "It was yellow," I shouted back through the closed window. I was already in the intersection. "It was red. You ran a red light." Cars behind us started honking. The light had turned green, but we weren't moving because he was standing there, blocking traffic. Some drivers were going around us, shooting us dirty looks as they passed. "Get back in your truck," I yelled. "You're blocking traffic." "I don't care." He pounded on my window again, harder this time. I was genuinely afraid he was going to break the glass. "You need to learn how to drive." I grabbed my phone and held it up so he could see it. "I'm calling the police right now. Get away from my car." He stared at me for a long moment, his chest heaving, jaw clenched. Then he pointed at me, his finger inches from the glass. "This isn't over," he said. Then he turned and walked back to his truck. I was shaking so badly I could barely dial. My hands fumbled with the phone as I called 911. The operator answered and I tried to explain what was happening, but the guy was already back in his truck and driving away, speeding through the intersection and disappearing into traffic. "Did you get his license plate?" the operator asked. I tried to remember. I'd seen it, but I'd been so focused on his face, on the threat he represented, that I hadn't registered the numbers. "No," I said, my voice breaking. "No, I didn't get it." "Can you describe the vehicle?" "White pickup truck. Ford, I think." The guy was wearing a construction vest. She took my information and said an officer would follow up, but without a license plate, there wasn't much they could do. I knew she was right. This guy was gone, and unless he did something else that got him caught, that was the end of it. I sat there at the intersection, even after the light turned green again. Cars honked at me and went around. I couldn't move. I was crying now, tears streaming down my face, my whole body shaking from adrenaline. Eventually, I pulled over into a parking lot and just sat there for a while, trying to calm down. I called my boss and told her I'd be late. I didn't tell her why. I just said I'd had car trouble. When I finally felt steady enough to drive, I took a different route to work. I couldn't bring myself to go back through that intersection. Even now, weeks later, I still avoid it. I take the long way around, adding 10 minutes to my commute, just so I don't have to be there again. The police never found the guy. They said without more information, there wasn't anything they could investigate. They suggested I get a dash cam for my car, which I did. It's recording constantly now, front and back. If anything like that ever happens again, I'll have proof, video evidence, something concrete. But it doesn't make me feel safer, because I realize now how fragile everything is, how quickly a normal day can turn into a nightmare, all because someone decided that their anger mattered more than basic human decency, all because I went through a yellow light. I think about that guy sometimes. I wonder if he even remembers me, or if that's just how he is all the time, exploding at strangers over minor things, making people afraid, and then moving on without a second thought. I hope I never see him again. But part of me knows that there are thousands of people just like him out there, driving the same roads I drive, carrying that same rage just below the surface. And all it takes is one wrong moment, one yellow light, one perceived slight, and they snap. That's what scares me the most. Not that one specific guy, but the knowledge that he's not unique. And neither was what happened to me. It could happen to anyone. It could happen tomorrow. All you can do is try to be careful, stay aware, and hope that luck stays on your side. Because some days, luck is all you have.